and the Elite was on the show against the Death Triangle in their best of 7 series. And Elite goes out there. Let me actually say this. Prior to, Kenny Omega did an interview with Sports Illustrated who said, look, we can't talk about what happened. We're not going to talk about what happened. People just need to let it go and move on. Okay. That's what he said before. Then he goes out, he and the rest of the Elite, the Young Bucks in the match, and they make several references to not only CM Punk, the backstage brawl that occurred, his last match, and other things. Kenny Omega, I believe, bit one of the members of the Death Triangle on the arm, similar to what rumored Ace Steel did to Kenny Omega. Matt Jackson blew a buckshot lariat spot, which CM Punk did in his match against Jon Moxley. And Kenny Omega hit the GTS, which is CM Punk's finishing move, all in Chicago.
But he thanked the guy who originated.
He thanked Kenta.
Yeah, that's another jab.
Yeah, he thanked Kenta on social media. And the crowd definitely showered them with. There were some FCM Punk chants in Chicago, which I was surprised at. But there was also a lot of F the Elite chants. Now, people were mad at them. They called them petty. They said, you're, but what do you think? Do you think that they crossed a line? Should they not have done anything? Was it right, wrong, indifferent? Kind of what do you think?
Man, I'm perplexed on that situation right there. Just because I don't think it was anything tasteful about it.
No.
I don't think rehashing, what happened a couple of months ago, opposed to letting it go away, is making anything better as far as that company goes. And if anybody, if Tony Khan knew about it and signed off on it, and they know CM Punk's not coming back, they probably going to be thinking about moving their headquarters.
After start running all those shows in Chicago.
Exactly, after this last show here. So I don't see what the smarts were in going out there and doing something like that. Leaning into it just because of it's where CM Punk is from, and you're going to get some heat. You know what I mean? And you can't take the heat. It's almost like you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. You know what I mean? Two rights don't make a wrong. I mean, I just didn't. For me, it was just distasteful.
I get it being distasteful. I get it being petty. I get it being tasteless, classless, whatever you want to say. Just for me, you always talk about the moment, right?
Yeah.
And once a moment passes, you can never get it again. And for the Elite's first match back in Chicago, after the whole CM Punk thing, the entire crowd is waiting for them to come out so that they can shower them with a chorus of boos and F the Elite chants. I mean, you're almost giving the crowd what they want by doing it. You're satisfying the audience because you're.
Wait a minute. Were the Young Bucks heels?
Yeah, they were kind of.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay, if they're heels, it's easy for them to go heel on the city without bringing CM Punk into play, just because they're getting the CM Punk chant. They're going to be heels. They're going to get booed anyway. So leaning into it makes it just rehash what happened at the scrum, which does nothing for that company.
It does nothing for the company. I'm not in disagreement, but I'm not as mad about it as other people.
As well as, I'm sure it didn't do anything for the match, but make it ha-ha. Just stupid.
Yes. Everything.
The guy that's stupid. You know what I mean? Doing a GTS just to throw that in CM Punk's face, and then to, thank the guy, Kenta for letting him use it. It's like, I don't even want to say the word on my show, but it's like, some females, some girl stuff. It's like, it sounds like some little kid stuff.
It's definitely high school, mean girl, clueless vibes. I totally get it. And everything you just said, I agree with wholeheartedly. I just think in the structure and in the context of the match, I didn't mind it as much as most people blew up about it. I understood what they were going for. Whether it hit the mark or not, whether it added to the match or not, that's up for debate. To me,
it's like somebody's, like you said, man, you love the Ric Flair spot when he faked the heart attack, and I go,
I didn't love it, but
but I'm just, and I go, well, I didn't like it, you know what I mean? Because certain things, I mean, I think you can make your point without going, going to a certain degree. And I think the stuff with CM Punk and the Young Bucks, it should have been over that night. Okay.
Agreed.
It should have been over. These guys been suspended. And then they still want to come back and play games. Like there again, it's not a job. They're having fun.
It's a game.
And that's my take on that. And people can write that and they can say whatever they want about it. That's my take on it. I just think it's childish stuff. I mean, I've had beef, with guys in the business before, you know what I mean? And we handle it, we squash it, we move on, and that's normally that's the way it used to be, but now it's different, and now it's different because ain't nobody really getting their asses whooped. There's no real consequences, no real repercussions, no real men running around. That's got a lot to do with it. It's no locker room etiquette. You know what I mean?
I think that's bigger. I think the last thing you just said is the biggest point, right? I mean, there's probably the coat of arms, the honor amongst thieves, if you will, doesn't seem to exist too much anymore. I don't know. I understand everything you said, and I'm not saying I loved the spot. I'm saying I understood why they leaned into it, and I'm not going to fault them too much for doing it. Is it great for the long term effects of the company? Probably not. Does it mean that CM Punk's coming back like some people are speculating? Absolutely not. Was it childish and was it haha? Yeah.
Well,
I get why they leaned into it.
everything I said was right. Then
I said nothing
no,
you said
no,
was wrong.
that's what
I
I'm
said
saying.
that. I
That's
said
what I'm
nothing you said
saying.
was wrong.
I,
I understood why they did it, is all
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. And I didn't mind it as much
Like I
as
said,
most
I
people
don't
did.
understand why they did it. You know
I
what I mean?
totally get why they did it.
Because
Totally.
I mean, okay, I
Like
mean,
like, okay, like, for instance, let me ask you this because I wanted to ask you something about Will Smith, and we'll do it on the other break. But Chris Rock has a special coming up in January that's gonna be live on Netflix. When he walks out on that stage, what's the first thing everyone's gonna be thinking about? Is he gonna address the slap, right?
yeah.
And I guarantee you that he will. I guarantee you that he will because he knows it's on his audience's mind.
Well, but okay. Now think about it this way, right here. He could have already addressed it. He could have been playing games with it. He could have been on social media posting memes.
He could have been.
Exactly my point.
But we'll see what happens because he knows there's a big check attached to this special, I'm
I
sure.
mean, it could be a big check. I mean, if he wanted to check, he could have sued Will Smith and got a big check. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's about money or anything. What I'm saying is the way he's handled this situation has been the way a man handle his business, not in
Mhm.
the public.
Mhm.
Simple. And making jokes and making memes when I got a company to run. When I'm trying to, put on a wrestling show and you want to remind the people of something that went on that I want to forget about. Okay. For me being Tony Khan, if I was Tony Khan, that's not
Oh,
something that I want to be rehashing.
agreed.
Okay. From
Agreed.
a boss and that kind of stuff is going on.
Well,
I'm hot as hell.
remember, they are bosses.
No, okay, whatever. I'm
They're
just I'm just I'm
the
just
VPs. I'm just saying.
I'm just giving you, the real.
No,
uh,
I wouldn't appreciate it either.
if I was Tony Khan, after being belittled pretty much in a press scrum with CM Punk, the last thing I want people thinking about is CM Punk from an in-ring perspective. And until CM Punk come back, if he comes back. That's
I,
it. Now I could be wrong. I could be
well, hey,
wrong.
we can pick up more of the convo. We got to take a quick break here, folks.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Excuse me. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Where we going now, man? You got me hot on that, but
I know. I got you riled up. I got you riled up about it.
hey,
Um,
I'm just keeping it real, man. Just keeping it real.
no, and just to go back to it on we were talking about CM Punk and the elite thing. Like I guess my question is, and this is why I said I don't mind it so much, right? Is because if I think about what my audience has on their mind, it's only right for me to address it, right? Like to address it in some fashion. Cause then you're almost it's almost a double-edged sword, right? If the elite went out there and did nothing, just did the regular match, boom, 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 whatever, whatever. You almost took a moment away from the fans that they were wanting. They wanted that moment. They wanted the ability. And you could take it away. I mean, if it's better for business, I guess I'm just
Hey, wait
thinking
a minute.
about it.
The fans wanted what moment?
They wanted it to be addressed in some fashion because it's the elephant in the room.
No, I mean, I'm just saying.
Now, I'm not saying they
Are
needed
you,
that particular.
are you saying they needed it to be addressed on the show, on the wrestling show, in a
I think
match?
I
That's what
think
you're saying?
so. I think no, maybe not. It could be a promo. It had something had to be said.
I
I
don't need
think
me
as a
personally.
performer,
I
that's
don't
what I
see.
think.
Look here, as a businessman, I don't need that to be talked about ever again in my
That's
company.
as a businessman, but I'm saying
As a
performer.
company owner, I mean, I don't need that's like opening the curtain to the fans to talk about something that really happened for real in a wrestling match in a world that's not. That makes no sense.
I know, but
That makes zero
no,
sense.
I get. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm not. I'm not talking about it from a business standpoint.
No, no,
I'm
I'm talking
saying
about it from a all around standpoint. That makes zero sense to bring that elephant back into the room to talk about
no,
it.
they didn't have
Start
to bring
talking.
it back in the room. It was in the room.
Well, the
It's in the room.
thing is we want it out of the room. We don't want to talk about it anymore. If I'm Tony Khan, and for
Oh, I agree with that.
these guys to go on my show to go out there and make fun of a situation that was relatively serious because CM Punk may not be coming back. It's
Yeah.
not smart in any way, shape, form.
But everything you just said, I 1000% agree with, and couldn't
You
agree with
can't
more.
agree with it and say, well, but it was great that they go out there and do
I
something
didn't
like
say it
that.
was great that I didn't say it was great that what they did.
It makes
I
no
said I
sense.
didn't mind. No, 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 it does make sense, and I'll tell you why. Because as if I look at it from Tony Khan's perspective, I'm livid about it. I don't want it. I'd say no comment in the press conferences. I don't want it addressed at all. Kenny Omega said that, hey, we should move past it. In the interview earlier that day, I'm not talking from a business standpoint at all.
Kenny
I'm
Omega,
not. Wait. Let me finish real
wait a
quick.
minute,
Let me
Kenny
finish real
Omega say
quick.
we need to go past it and then go out and do something like that.
I,
That makes
I
sense.
no, it doesn't.
Okay.
Well, this is all I'm saying. This is all that I'm saying. I'm not saying I like it. I said I didn't mind it as much as most people because I understand what was going on in their mind as performers. You have an audience who wants this addressed, and you're
That's you just said it. You just said it. That's the problem. As performers. And when you're performing on my show, it's a script.
I agree.
Okay. And when you go out there and do and just do perform, just you know, that's when things get, pretty hectic. That company could be closed down in the next couple of years. And these guys are going to be
I
wondering what the hell happened. And it's because they're going out there playing games and not understanding what this stuff is really about.
agreed. Like 1,000% agree. And I guess I'm
And
speaking
then
from
we'll look back on it a couple of years from now and go, Book, you was right.
well, no, I can say it right now. Book, you're right
No,
about everything you're
no.
saying.
I'm just saying because this is not a game. And there was someone in the comment just a little while ago said not to take wrestling so serious. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Well, I don't agree with that.
No. And it's a lot of people think that way. Well, you can go out and have fun. Who cares if it's just wrestling? The guys that think that way, they never make it to the top level. They never make a lot of money. They never got a bank account to where they could actually relax and not think about going out there and busting their behinds on the independent scene. I'm serious. Guys that think like that it's just a game. None of those guys won a world championship. None of them.
Well, we always reference that interview, and I got love for Dwight Howard, but we always reference that interview that you had with Dwight Howard, where you asked him, is this your job or is it a game, right? And he said, "Oh, this is a game that I play." And where's Dwight Howard now? He's playing basketball in Taiwan. All due respect. I mean, all due respect to Dwight.
No.
I'm just
All due respect, my behind. There's no respect him going and play in Taiwan with those little bitty guys. There's no respect there.
I
And
don't know if they're little
I
bitty.
saw how he tried to get on, Shaquille O'Neal about what he said about him. What Shaquille said was true. When I
Oh,
said
I didn't see that.
Dwight Howard, is this is this a job or is this a game? He said it's a game. And he's taking it like it's a game. Every place he's going to, they could be losing. He's laughing. He's smiling.
Right.
It's fun. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan, when he was losing, You didn't want to talk to him.
Somebody was getting hit.
Bottom line. So when I see these guys, people make comments like that, you don't know. You've never been there. And in order to make it to the next level, you got to have a killer instinct. You got to be able to go out there and take it because it's not going to be given to you. And if you think that's the way this business is, it's fun and everybody's having fun, the guys that's having fun, their ass is going to be looking for a job at the end of the day. The guy that's handling this like a business, like Miz, he's going to be living in a big house, in a mansion. Bottom line.
Facts. Yeah, I mean, you have to take your craft seriously. And look, I have never been a big proponent of the Young Bucks style. We talked about the Young Bucks actually, I think last week, and I said I've come to appreciate what they have on the show. If every match is like their match, it's not a great show. If you have one like that, it's okay. I've never been a big fan of their antics either. And I'm still not saying that I'm a fan of what happened in Chicago. I'm not saying that I enjoyed it and it made my night. All I said is I'm not I don't mind it as much as most people because I understand their thought.
Look,
I
look,
get where they were coming from.
those guys, I can't say I get their thought. I can't say I get where they're coming from or anything like that. But one thing I can say is the Young Bucks, when they go out, the fans like what they do. The fans get off into it. The fans are entertained. And if everybody knew how to create that and do it their own way, because everybody's not going to be able to be the Young Bucks. Okay. You might have a chance at making some real money in this business. You might have a chance at making it to the next level of this business. But if you're thinking anything outside of that, I give Young Bucks a lot of credit as far as being able to go out there and sustain that time that they're out there and keep that crowd totally in tune and motivated to what they're doing. Trust me, they do a whole lot of work to actually keep that crowd into it. They're working their butts off. They're bumping like crazy.
Crazy.
Guys are taking some of the craziest bumps you've ever seen, but they do it. So I if everybody can figure that out, I'm sure the Young Bucks bank account look pretty well. Okay, I'm sure.
I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it
I'm sure
does.
they're doing well.
You know what I mean? So if you can figure that out, you're okay. Everybody's not going to be able to be the Young Bucks. But like I say, as far as the antics of bringing CM Punk back into the arena because we're in Chicago, there again, I'm not going to be able to say I can agree with that ever, just because I'm a boss, and if that's, I know if I had a show and we were in Chicago and I was running AEW, that would not be written in the script.
No.
Okay, I'm just
and I don't think it was probably written in the script.
Well, because
I don't think it was.
because there is no script.
And therein lies the problem.
Bottom line.
Therein lies the problem. And again, no matter if you liked or disliked what they did in the 6-man tag match, to even have the ability to have the freedom to go out there and make that decision shows that there's a lack of structure where one, the idea at first was, oh, we can benefit from this, but now we're seeing the opposite side of that, right? To where, yeah, it's cool that we have this creative freedom. However, when you try to control a show, you can't control a show with that much creative freedom.
There's a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
It's a big problem.
I mean, because
like I say, if I was in charge of that show, going back in Chicago, that would not have been written into the show.
Right.
And it's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. There is no control. There is no leadership. And I've said that before. And whatever happened is going to happen. And it's not going to be my fault. I just want to get that out there. I'm just speaking facts as far as what I'm seeing. But go ahead before we got to get out of here.
Well, I was going to say we have like 2 minutes left. And we can talk about it maybe more on Wednesday or Thursday show. But Mandy Rose wants to go back to the main roster. Just real quick,
Yeah.
Is it time for her to go to the next level, or does she still have more to do in NXT? She doesn't seem to think so.
I don't know, man. If I was her, I would want to stick around NXT for a little bit longer. Run to the main roster. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. And it's going to be all about what we just talked about. All about what we just talked about. You're creating your star. being able to go out there and be one of those talent to where the fans can't wait to see you perform. I know one thing. I bet you Daniel Bryan, he never had any problems holding the crowd's attention.
Mm-mm.
He never had a problem with that. He never had a problem with the crowd, yes, 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 and him all the way to the ring, giving him that chant, giving him that extra 6 man, perspective to what he needed, to, power him through that match or anything. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody don't know how to do that. Everybody can't do that. Everybody doesn't understand what that really truly means. And if Mandy Rose is to make it to the main roster, she better understand when she do get into a main event match, she's gonna have to go out there and perform. Pretty face is just not gonna do it. And that's just fact. You're in the Hall of Fame, guys. I want to thank everybody for sticking around, getting your champagne wishes, caviar drinks. Because that's what it's all about, man. It's all about the people. Hey, man, Bradley, as always, man. Appreciate you. I got some chicken on right now. I got to go get it. But guys, again, we appreciate you, and we'll see y'all in a couple of days. Peace. We out.